Kenya is renowned for producing world-class athletes, particularly in long and middle distances events like marathon races. Nevertheless, in recent years, doping in Kenya has become a major concern in athletics after several elite athletes faced allegations and sanctions for doping violations. Doping in the world sports basically means use of banned substances or methods by athletes to enhance performance in sports competitions, for example, steroids, stimulants, hormones, among other drugs. Doping is therefore regarded as cheating and therefore strictly prohibited in sports. The issue of doping in Kenya gained significant attention in the year 2012 and 2013, when several high-profile athletes tested positive for banned substances. This resulted in tarnishing Kenya's reputation in international sports. The doping menace in the country resulted in the suspension and disqualification of elite athletes and making Kenya be barred from participating in professional circuits such as the World Marathon Majors and Diamond League. This also deterred potential sponsors and investors from supporting athletics, hence hindering grassroots development of the sport. These concerns about the integrity of Kenyan sports led to the establishment of Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, ADAC.
We have come a long way. I look back to 2012 when I was Minister for Sports then in the administration of President Kibaki. When I hosted the then WADA president, we started a conversation of having a formal framework to confront the challenge of doping. And those discussions ultimately culminated in the enactment of the Kenya Anti-Doping Agency Act, the statute that establishes the agency. And fast forward to that, we now have a full-fledged Kenya Anti-Doping Agency that is leading the effort.
We are just here to ensure that our athletes are participating in clean sport in a fair level playing field.
The Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, ADAC, initiated an enhanced anti-doping project to address concerns on doping in sports.
The enhanced program is mainly on athletics. The Athletics Kenya is our national federation. Their international federation is called World Athletics. They have a unit or a department within them that is very independent that deals with matters sports integrity. Doping is a sports integrity issue because athletes then would be cheating or trying to enhance their performance and get an edge over and above any other athlete. So the Athletics Integrity Unit, or AIU, has categorized Kenya under Category A, meaning that our athletes are at a higher risk of doping for participating in sports. So they thought that it would be good for the country, and the government especially, to take this matter seriously, because there were many athletes who were turning positive, especially at the international level, and the athletics fraternity worldwide was concerned about this. So the World Athletics President, Lord Sebastian Coe, came to Kenya, had a meeting with His Excellency the President and our Cabinet Secretary, and they agreed to pump in money to just ensure that we are tackling this doping issue within the sport of athletics.
I interacted very closely with the President of World Athletics, Lord Sebastian Coe, and the AIU. We agreed on a plan which we then cascaded down to stakeholders here in Kenya. We held a very good multi-sectoral forum where we agreed on what to do. That is what gave birth to the enhanced anti-doping program, which we are now rolling out.
Doping undermines the integrity of sports competitions. In Kenya, various organizations are involved in the fight against doping, such as Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, ADAC, Athletics Integrity Unit, AIU, Athletics Kenya, and the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports.
We are also collaborating with the security forces. We have the DCI on board, we have NIS on board, and especially when we are now investigating the pharmacies and the chemists, then we have to have the Pharmacy and Poisons Board and Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. We are also working with the sports registrar because we have to regulate the camps, and Athletics Kenya is working closely with her just to ensure that those people who are in camps are who they are, the managers and the agents who are coming into the country to work with the athletes are who they say they are. We are also working closely with doctors because most of these athletes, whenever they are taking whatever medication it is that they are going to take, if it's valid, then they have to have a therapeutic use exemption. If it's not valid, then at least we have doctors on board who can be able to tell us this medication is not valid, or they should not have been using it for this purpose. We are also working with the lawyers in Athletics Kenya because of now the legal bit of it.
What makes this enhanced program special, unique, and gives it good chances of success is, one, it is well supported by the government of Kenya through the Ministry of Sports, very well supported. We have committed $5 million per year for 5 years to bankroll this program, and that is government support. It's taxpayers' money, and because it's taxpayers' money, we want to see it used well. We want to see transparency and accountability in the way the $5 million per year, which is a total of $25 million committed to this fight in 5 years.
We work in partnership with ADAC. In the first place, we didn't have educators in Athletics Kenya, so we were depending on educators from ADAC. But in the recent past, ADAC, in conjunction with AIU, managed to educate 12 educators from Athletics Kenya. And we have former athletes in the educators group. This is a very good impact that is bringing down to the athletes, because you can imagine if an educator is a former athlete, they understand the journey, they understand the path, they understand the challenges on what the athletes are going through, and the athletes are very receptive. I can say in 2023, it has been a very successful year in terms of education.
The campaign against doping in sports involves a combination of measures. One, education awareness. This initiative aims at educating athletes, coaches, and other key stakeholders about the dangers and consequences of doping, as well as promoting ethical behaviors in sports.
We want our athletes and our athlete support personnel and other persons who are involved in issues to do with the athletics to first of all understand the program, understand the provisions of the code and the regulations that govern anti-doping, understand the expectations, so that then from there they can be able to make informed decisions as they develop talent and they expose these athletes to competitions. And therefore, since the revival of the program, we have been able to sensitize more than 20,000 athletes, athlete support personnel and other persons, running a program on the top priority athletes who are competing internationally, where we are organizing workshops for them, sensitization forums for them. We are covering all the events that are within the calendar of Athletics Kenya to make sure that we capture as many people as possible and give them information which they actually need, so that they can be able to guide their athletes and of course have the athletes also be in the right path in as far as clean sport is concerned.
This is the first time in the history of our training that ADAC has visited athletes in the course of their training. The athletes that we have are young, upcoming athletes. Quite a number of them are from secondary school level and a few from primary schools, and they still have a long way to go in their athletics career as they have just begun. And the information that they will get is invaluable because it will guide them and guard them at the same time, and they will avoid the dangers and pitfalls of ingesting drugs in order to enhance performance.
Kwa upande wa mafunzo tumejifunza mengi kuhusu utumiaji wa madawa. Hatufai kutumia madawa ya kuongeza nguvu kwa mwili. Inabidi tu train tukiwa tuchatumia madawa.
I am happy to see them, and I have also realized that they have taught us the values, and if that is what they do, they are doing a great job. And I believe it's a privilege to have you here as the anti-doping agency, because we have learned a lot. You know, the more you are introduced to something or you're taught, the more you learn. The more it's repeated, the more they learn. And I believe that if you visit again, then we shall have another group of learners, not only this one.
I was so happy that they came. We have learned so many things. One of the values that I learned was being joyful. Even though we did not win, all of us did not win.
We must teach our children, in the words of Abraham Lincoln, that it is more honorable to lose than to cheat. Given a choice of losing and cheating, what do you choose? Do you choose to win by all means, or say, I would rather lose than cheat? It's a value, it's a moral value. And these are values that we must inculcate in our young people from schools and college, and all the way to elite athletes.
We are here at this school, one of the schools, primary schools in Kenya, in a county called Nakuru. And we are just continuing with a program which we created about 5 years ago on values-based education. When the World Anti-Doping Agency released this program, we looked at it and customized the program to fit the context of our people. And basically what we wanted is to envisage a situation where the values are inculcated into these children through an experiential kind of learning. And therefore, we created a program that involves physical activities, games, mini games, where children, we bring them together, they get involved and they are guided through certain physical activities and games. And through that, they are able to learn the values which they're supposed to practice, not just even in sports, but in their own daily life. And basically values such as honesty, values such as excellence in performance, values such as health, values such as fair play, integrity. These are values which come out through the activities that we conduct. We believe that if this is embraced by many of our physical education teachers in our primary schools, then it can be a very, very good program to be able to bring up children who have values and be able to embrace these values in their sporting careers. After each and every activity, they had a reflection of what went wrong, why did they not make it, and those one who made it, what made them to make it. And through that, they are able to identify a value and target to a certain activity. And we believe that through that experiential kind of learning, they are able to internalize that. We as an agency, we have worked with the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. And in the competence-based curriculum, we have designed these values in the CBC curriculum. And therefore, the next steps which we are doing, because right now, this is a pilot project, the next steps which we are doing is that we want to bring together all our PE teachers in all schools in the country to be able to capacity build them and give them the materials and give them the competence to be able to do the same thing which is being done there. And we believe that if all the children in schools can go through the same program, then it is one of the long-term strategy in preventing doping from happening in this country. So we believe that this is going to be a success, and we will make it, being the second country on the globe, the second anti-doping organization on the globe apart from Japan, who have come up with this kind of value-based design program to upcoming talent. Long term, for us to be able to have a high impact on this program, is that we want to ensure that our schools are well empowered. If our schools can get these kinds of equipments, and our schools can have teachers who have capacity to deliver this, then actually it will lessen our work. Then that means, because in competence-based curriculum, physical education and health is a compulsory subject. That means all the children in a week, there are hours they are supposed to be dedicated to undertake physical education. And therefore, if this is one of the programs that are going to be undertaken, then it means that actually all the children will benefit from this program, and actually the value chain system will be instilled in the country in the upcoming talents.
2. Testing programs. These are for implementing of a robust testing program to detect and discourage doping practices. This includes both in competition and out of competition testing that is normally conducted by Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, ADAC.
We used to conduct up to 1,200, 1,300 tests per year. But just last year, starting January of the calendar year, to date, we've done about 4,500 tests. That's a huge, like fourfold samples that we have collected. We want every athlete to be able to run clean. They have the natural talent. So what they just need to do is to allow each other to grow with that talent and to be able to participate.
We are also realizing that the impromptu visits by ADAC is doing us very well. I personally talked to the coach at Iten, and he said when they did an impromptu visit to take samples, the athletes physically ran away, jumped fences, and it was a battle. And that made some coaches to realize that they think they are training people, and people are busy taking this medicine. And some even confess that me, I bought yesterday, I was taking today, and I have not taken it. I will never use it again.
3rd, regulations and enforcement. By establishing and enforcing strict anti-doping regulations by sports federations and government agencies, with consequences for athletes and support personnel found guilty of doping violations.
Stay away. You are responsible for anything that goes to your body. Na makosa ya doping sio kitu ya kumeza tu. Nikikuja niseme nataka kukupima wewe, mimi ni mtu wa ADAC, ukatae kupimwa, hiyo ni makosa. Nikikuja utoroke, hiyo ni makosa. Nikiona hivi, hata hujatumia, umeficha kabangi hapa nyuma, umechomoa tu hivi nikachungulia nikaona ukarudisha, hiyo ni makosa. Tunazita anti-doping rule violations. Tukue very careful. Na najua ni vizuri kuamini coach wako, kuamini management yako. Lakini ule mtu tunasemanga tunafaa kutrust 100% ni nani? Ni Mungu. Si ni kweli? Hata yule coach pale ni binadamu. Anaweza kuwa ameona kuna race fulani anataka pia kati yake iongezeke. Anakuja na kuwekea kitu. Tafadhali, tukue very careful. Asisemi ati coaches wetu ni wabaya. Tunafaa kuwa very careful na anything you are taking.
4. Research and development. By investing in research to develop new detection methods for performance-enhancing substances and staying updated on emerging trends. 5. International collaboration. Through collaborating with international bodies such as Athletic Integrity Unit, World Anti-Doping Agency, to align anti-doping efforts with global standards and share information and best practices. And 6. Support service. By providing support services for athletes, including access to medical professionals, nutritionists, and other resources to help them achieve their athletics goals without resorting to doping. The fight against doping in Kenya aims at promoting fair play, protecting the rights of athletes, and upholding the credibility of its sports program. Stay clean, win right.
I encourage my fellow students to stay clean and win right.
Stay clean, win right.
Stay clean, win right.
Stay clean, win right.